Lavanya in there?
Yes. So today, to give a quick recap, like what we have been discussed yesterday, and then what we are going to discuss for today. So yesterday we were discussing in the terms of what are the different type of applications we have. Okay, in normal. So what are the different type of applications we have, and we wanted to talk about the SDLC. So now what is SDLC and the different type of applications is the topic which we wanted to do it. And yesterday we have been discussed in the different type of applications. There are multiple, I mean, there are different type where it is called as one tier architecture, two tier architecture, three tier architecture, four tier architecture, and then five tier architecture. Now one tier architectures, these things are called as standalone applications or the desktop applications. And two tier architecture is called as the client server architecture applications of the two tier. And three tier architectures are called as web applications, and four tier applications are called the network distributed applications, and then five tier architectures are which is called the mobile. When you Google it, we'll have only these four types of categories. This will be not there, but as this is also one of the category, we have been introduced over here. Now how is mobile architecture will be there? Here we'll be having the hybrid and native and all blah 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 will be there, but we will not get into those things at all, because when you go for the mobile automation, so there we will be discussing about into the details. Okay, so now coming back here, yesterday we have been discussed on this. So now starting with the desktop application, so where we will be quickly talking about three important layers. So one is presentation layer, and next one is business logic layer, and next one is a DB layer. So with the help of these particular three layers, we will be defining what is one tier architecture. This is this is architectures of the applications. Okay, one tier architecture, two tier architecture, three tier architecture. Now, in a same location, in a same physical instances, means we discussed, right? So the things which you can touch, your laptop and all these things are called as a physical instances, right? Now, on this particular physical instances, if you have your presentation layer, business logic layer, DB layer all together in one physical instances, then this is called as standalone or the desktop application. So for this one, we have been yesterday taken the example of calculator. So now in the calculator, I can see my client side, means which is a presentation layer. And here, if I given the business logic, so I have been given some, you see, now when I have multiplied with 45 into 5, it given me the answer 225. Means that is what the outcome means. There is a business logic of doing the multiplication happen. So this is what the business logic layer. And then if you wanted to see the historical data, means whatever the data we stored it, so that would be also present in this same. So means presentation layer is there, DB is there, and business logic layer is there. Everything into the same instance, same physical machine, not between exchanging between these systems or the network. Then this is called standalone. Now, second thing, we went for the client server architecture. In the client server architecture, I'll be having a client. I'll have multiple clients and I have one particular server. I given one hotel example. You go for a hotel. We three friends went for a hotel. Now, when we went for the hotel, at that point of time, there will be multiple, means three people are there. One server will come and then he will take the order and he will serve us. The same way, now in two-tier architecture, we will be having the client architectures, and we will be having this server architectures. So this is the client and then this is what the server. So now here we can see that all the clients are here and the server is here. Now this server will serve this particular clients. Now here we can have the presentation layer, and then the DB layer, and business logic layer may exist here or exist here. So this is what the two-tier architecture which we have been discussed. And next one, the three-tier architecture we have been discussed. So in the three-tier architecture, my presentation layer would be somewhere else, my business logic layer would be in somewhere else, and my DB will be also in the somewhere else. Example, taking a Gmail or whatever the things you wanted. So now, as it is a right example, I have been taken this one. I opened my Gmail here. So when I open my Gmail, so in the Gmail, so I can see my all the email IDs or all the things will be there, right? So now here you can see that particular Gmail here. Now when I have been seen this, when I have been seen my Gmail, here I can see that my Gmail address, right? So now this is what my front end solution. So now when I have this particular front end solution, so this is what my presentation layer, and all my DBs stored in any North America or the South Africa, somewhere else it will be stored. And with the help of this particular business logic, so as soon as I clicked on this particular inbox, so that it will bring me out. And if I click on my send mails, all the send mails which I have been sent it, so that it will be getting it and then getting on to this. So this is how this particular things would be created and would be implemented for us. Okay, so I given a very quick recap because this is what we have discussed in detail in the yesterday's session. So now today we wanted to talk from the network point of view. So yesterday we have been introduced few terminologies, which is what do you meant by a server? What do you meant by an app server? What do you meant by a DB server? So these all things we have been discussed yesterday, all right? So today we wanted to discuss with from here we are going to start. And the things is, so we wanted to go with the network distributed mobiles and then the SDLC. This is what our agenda for today. So hope you guys have been gone through with that, the videos, and I might be using the same examples. So whatever I have been used in the video, so that it would be, we can go through that. And whatever the questions you have it, you can ask me. Okay, so that's a quick recap we have given. So now coming back to the the network distributed, okay, or four-tier architecture. Now, let me take one example. I'm traveling, means I'm here. I will need to go to my destination. Okay, whatever the place. So either I'm in Amirpet and I wanted to go for Nagaram or someplace else, whatever the thing. I wanted to go in this direction. So now this is what the road which I have it. But unfortunately, what had happened is there is terrific traffic in this road. Now what I'll try to do, I need to look after for any other road. Okay, so now what I'll try to do, I'll go around on the outer ring road and then I reach back to this. Means if at all there is a route, but still the route is completely blocked or having full traffic. Now what I have been done, I taken another route which I can reach out to my destination. See, the first thing you need to observe what the thing is, I reached my destination. Probably take a turnaround, but still I'm able to reach the destination and I'm able to get what I required. The same way from the application point of view. Now, if you see here in the Google, now when you are when you are searching for something, it will come as google.co.in or co.uk, co.my, co.sg. What is this? Co.in means India, co.uk means United Kingdom, and co.my means Malaysia, co.sg means Singapore, co. US, United States. Why they need to have these many domains? I'm pointing to only Google only, right? Why I wanted to do this? Example, I go for ticket counter, movie ticket counter. Okay, imagine that we went for an Inox. In Inox, there is a counters. They can have only one counter, right? Why they will have multiple counters?
Segregating the traffic to get the work done
As
faster.
quickly as possible, right?
Yeah.
So now what it will happen? Now everyone, so previously means the people used to use it very less, but nowadays what it happen is even they replace the name of searching to Google. See, now if someone is saying that I need to search something in the internet, they are using that I'm googling in the internet. Googling means the name, the change of the means the Google has been changed the name as searching. So that is what we need to do it. So now no one else can replace the Google, right? Do you remember in good old days we will need to have, hey, I wanted Bisleri water. It is not a Bisleri water. I need a packed water bottle. So brands change the meaning of that. So that's how we need to create the brands. Now, so that there is a terrific rush, terrific traffic for the people. Some crores and crores of requests will come to the Google. Now, if they have only google.com, now you imagine how much traffic it will be getting for this. Now, what they have did is, now the Google would be saying, now they will give a different route. Hey, you are coming from India, you come and connect with this portal. And you coming from the UK, you come and connect with this. You're coming from Malaysia, you come from this. You come from Singapore, you come from US, you take these all channels, and then via this particular route you can come over here. So this is what to improve the performance, and the user friendliness accessing. Just imagine that you are searching for something. So now I'm just trying to search something here in the portal. So now here I'm searching over here, and I'll say that test. So I'm just searching for it. As I told you, it was coming within 0.5 seconds. But can you imagine that if at all it is coming after 2 minutes, 3 minutes, will you keep yourself silent? You'll not use that, because that's not user friendly, because we can't wait for that much of time, right? So that's the reason how fast they can serve the end users. So this is, see, now network distributed applications is also the web applications. So they have the presentation layer in a different way, business logic layer in a different way, DB in a different way. All these things will be different, but they will be in a different channels. Now for this one, I'll be having a different 3 layers. And for this one, they will have the different 3 layers. For this one, they have the 3 different layers. For this one, different layers, but all pointing to the same single databases. But the channel they reach, I given you, right? The destination is same. The destination is not changed, but by the way of reaching us, it has been changed over here. So this is called network distributed. It was the name itself. It was saying that, hey, it is distributed. See, now I wanted to distribute the chocolates to my friends. I wanted to give the chocolates, right? Now, via network, it is distributed. So this is called network distributed architecture. So because, hey, do you really think that I need to test this type of network distributed applications? Yes. For an example, you take Amazon or Decathlon. In the real time, we have done this one. So now for an example, Amazon, you see what it was coming it with?
Amazon.com.
In means it's an Indian. And now, so that you can see whatever the flag means, and then whatever the related languages of India, it was showing to you. Now, do you think that if I open this one in Singapore or in Thailand, will I get Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Bengali?
No, sir.
So now when I change this one, it will change by default. And I don't know Thailand, so it's TH, I'm just guessing. No, it's wrong portal. I don't know. So just imagine that when they open in the Thailand or in Singapore, they will be showing in Thai and Malay. So because they use the Malay language and Thai language. And for the Decathlon, France, Italy, then when they open in that one, so it opens in Italian language. Or if you open in Russia, it will open in Russian language, because according to that particular region, the language would be changed. Because most of, for an example, in India only, we know more dialects, and we know more language. For an example, we can speak Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, or Kannada, Malayalam. So we have all these languages so that we will be learning it. But if you go for some other countries, the languages are very less. They will have a unified with a, for example, complete Russia, they will talk only Russian, and complete Malaysia, they will talk only Malay. So now the languages availability also very less, and they can't even read English also. So now, according to their language, they will convert that one. In Thailand, almost any website will be translated into their respective languages. They have the complete option saying that English, and then convert into their respective language. Now, that particular, every portal would be based upon this particular thing. So everything would be into this particular languages, and these particular languages would be converted. For an example, now as I told you, so this particular Decathlon is there, right? So Decathlon or particular Amazon or any particular portal, so it will be having with the extensions of the UK or MY, or that is the URL, so which they wanted to give. Yesterday we have been discussed, right? Domain name. So how they wanted to give that particular domain name, so that they will be taking care on this. So that is how this would be happen. So any questions? What do you meant by the network distributed? So network distributed is also means the same as web application, but it would be distributed based upon the network. So that's the only difference between the web applications and this. So that's the reason if you understand web, so then network distribution is very much easier to get understand. Any more questions on this one? Any questions?
No.
Okay, cool. Now the next one is the mobile applications. For an example, now what do you meant by mobile apps? See now, in your mobile, we will be having, we can open the browser, you can open your Chrome browser and then you can access to the details, or you will be having your own mobile apps with the help of this particular mobile apps. So it will be taken care on this one. So that is how this particular mobile apps would be there. So now for an example, we have Swiggy, we have Ola, or you wanted to IRCTC booking, or whatever the apps which we are having it. So that particular mobile applications means this can be accessed from the mobile phones only. For an example, if it is an Android, I'll be having IP means APK, Android package. And then when it is from the iOS, I'll be having .ipa. Hey, what is this .ipa or APK? You remember? Do you remember that when you wanted to install something in your machine, you will be having .exe? You click that .exe, it will install in your Windows, right? The same way, if you wanted to install something, means you'll go to the Play Store, right? Google Play Store, and then you'll be downloading the apps. So that particular app extension would be .apk. If it is from the iOS, from the test flight, if you are installing it, so then that would be .ipa files. So now this would be the mobile app. So whatever, see now, mobile app would be once again, so the mobile app, whatever you're seeing it, it is in the presentation layer, and the database layer, and whatever the database layer and the business logic layer may be present in the same mobile, or it might be presented in the internet also. Internet means external world. So they will take that particular data. For an example, now it all depends upon application to application. Take Ghana. So now Ghana is a musical app, right? So now you wanted to hear out all the music. Now you can play from 1940s or 1980s, 1990s, 2000, 2010, 2020s, or latest songs. You have all these things. Do you think that all the things will be loaded in this particular app? No. As soon as you connected to the internet, so you'll go to this particular app, and from this particular app, you will be connected to that particular server, and then you'll get that music, and then you'll get it back here. So now this is what you're requesting to the server. Server will respond back, and then you'll start hearing on this. So this is combination of all these particular architectures. Some applications are there. Now calculator app is there. So calculator app, it don't need for the internet connectivity, right? In your mobile, you can open your calculator app. What it will happen? It will have the same presentation layer, business logic layer, everything into your mobile itself. So mobile is consists of all these things, means it can be survived as a standalone or the client server or as a web applications. Anything it can be, means the mobile app can have performed on this one. It's like a completely a hybrid structure. The presentation is from the mobile, and all these hybrid structures can be implemented from the mobile apps. So that is where this is has been catered as a different architecture. Okay, this can consist of all these particular three layers. I given you example, right? Ghana, or calculator, or your voice recorder. So you can record all the things that will be stored in your phone only. It will not stored externally. And you wanted to store, if you're sleepy, you can go and sleep well, or at least you can mute yourself, please.
Sorry, sir. It was a mistake.
Fine. So now
There.
this is what, so now when we can keep into this particular app, so now we can store that particular data over here. So that is how the mobile apps would be working. So this is where this particular mobile architecture would be coming into the picture. So any other questions from the desktop? client server, web applications, and network distributed, and then mobile architecture?
No, sir.
Cool. So this is how the application. So now why we need to understand this one? Why we need to learn this particular different type of applications? See, the strategy to test this particular application is different, and these applications are different. Every layer will have a different techniques to test this particular each layer. So that is what we need to understand, that before testing any particular application, so first we should know what type of application is this. Is it a particular desktop application, or a client server application, or a web application? So what type of applications is this? So first we need to understand that particular type of applications over here, and then you can go and test that applications. Okay, so now you keep this particular dot away. Why we discussed about this different type of applications, I'll let you know. I'll connect that particular dot later. Okay, now the next part of our session is Sdlc. What do you meant by Sdlc?
Software development life cycle.
Life
We
cycle.
define.
Okay, so now software development life cycle. So everyone will be understanding that what is this particular life cycle is meant by, or what is this life cycle? See, the name itself, it was saying that if you wanted to develop a particular software, so there would be a development life cycle. So life cycle, to define you the life cycle, I given you the same example in our videos also. Life cycle, human life cycle.
Human life cycle.
Yeah, so we will born, and we will be in the child days, teen, middle age, old age, and gone. So that would be the human life cycle, right? So now this would be the bell curve. This is what the child, teenage, old age, the middle age, and old age, and then gone. For anything, this would be the bell curve. This is called as a bell curve. Uh, Everyone, the human life cycle will have the same thing, nothing different, right? Now the same way for every software also, this is what the phases you'll be having it. So now what are the different phases we will be having for this particular Sdlc?
Requirement
analysis, designing,
coding,
testing, and production and
development.
maintenance.
Okay, we'll go one by one. Swapna. Okay, so Swapna, you can say that. What are the phases we have it?
Requirement analysis, design, coding, testing, and deployment.
Okay, you need to hold on. Requirement analysis or requirement gathering?
Requirement
gathering.
Always see, those are two different phases. You shouldn't merge with it. Requirement gathering.
Sorry.
Now the next one is
Analysis.
analysis. Next one,
Designing.
next one is designing. I'll come to you, Nishan. So just I wanted only from Swapna. Designing. Next,
Coding.
coding or the implementation, which we'll be trying to do it. Next one,
Testing. Sir.
okay. Next one,
Deployment. Maintenance.
So now actually some phases will have this is called deprecation or the sunsetting, so that I'll talk about later. Now let's see that. Hey, requirement gathering, analysis, designing, coding or implementation or testing, and deployment and maintenance. Actually deployment and maintenance will not keep in the same way, just keep this one, because deployment is different and the maintenance is also different. So I'll keep it into this one. So now overall these 7 phases, and it is not mandatory that if this particular 7 phases we need to keep it in a different way. Every company will have the 7 phases. It all depends upon the company to company. It varies. It's a mandatory that it will be doing this. So definitely it can vary from one place to another place. Another place means another company. Okay, now let's see what is this requirement. To take any example, so we'll talk about that particular example. Now I think I have taken some construction example in the videos, right? Now, what example I have taken in the video?
Construction.
Okay, so construction example I taken, right?
Building.
Constructing a building. Now, let me take some other example. So what example? Okay, I'll take this one. So I have a function in my home. I wanted to create a suite. Okay, so this is what my project. Now, there is a function. So I wanted to means scatter the food for my people or for my guests. Now, what I'll try to do, I'll try rather than ordering from outside. I feel that hey, if I created that suite, it would be much more better because that would be very fresh and then that would be more tasty. So that's the reason I can cater this one to my host. Now, what I'll try to do, I'll first means I'll just see who are the top people in the market who can scatter this particular need for me. Means hey, what is the best street shops in Chennai or Tirupati or wherever. So the sweet shops we have it. I select three people out of the hey, out of these three, out of this all these three people are very famous in market. What I'll do, I'll ask the three people to come. Now I'll give them saying that hey boss, there is a good function in my home. I need 3 categories to 5 categories of sweet. Then immediately they will ask. As soon as you got a particular contractor or vendor, I'll say means rather than 3, I'll take in 1. So because the bidding and all the things will be there, I'll skip on for this one as of now. So just I'll have only 1 vendor. I selected this guy is best. Now what I'll try to do, I'll take from this one. For this guy is from X sweet shop. He came and then he started to say that hey, you just say that hey, I have a function, I have this one. Then what immediately he'll ask, sir, can you tell me what are the means how many sweets you wanted to have? Hey, I need to have 3 to 5 sweets. Sir, what are the sweets you wanted? Hey, I want something like a malai kaja, and then I wanted something like a poli, and then something I wanted gulab jam like that. So I given that names of the sweet. Okay, fine, sir. Now we got this one, right, sir? Means how means within how much time you wanted to means when you wanted and what the time you wanted. Within I think the function is on 26th. You need to come on 25th, and then within 1 day you need to complete all these things. Then we'll say, sir, 3 to 5 sweets means within 1 day preparation. This might be a little difficult, sir, but still I'll see that. So now what is your tentative time? I'll take only 1 day of time to do this. Okay, I know that time and I know that what are the sweets and these things. Now what the things you have been done? This is what the requirement gathering. You first gathered all the requirements from them. Hey, what exactly you need or what exactly the things you required. So that is what we have been gathered. Now, next, what step you'll be trying to do? You will go back and then you do the analysis. Hey, you'll go back to your owner and then other team members. Hey, who is preparing rasgulla or who is preparing these particular sweets? You'll call them. Hey, we have 1 day of time. Can we complete this particular sweets on time and then deliver these particular things to the cater to the people or not? So we will ask them to do it. We will discuss internally. Hey, if I wanted to deliver in 1 day, I might require 6 to 10 people, so that all 6 to 10 people if sit and then work together, then they can complete this particular within 1 day we can complete 3 sweets. And what are the raw material I wanted to get? I need some 10 kilos of sugar and 10 kilos of blah 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 things I need to have. So all the raw materials will be looking at it, timelines will be looking at it, and the resources means how many people need to work on this. So all these things we will analyze, we discuss, analyze, and then create this. So this is what the analysis phase. And the next one is the designing phase. So okay, so now if I wanted to create this one, morning 5 o'clock I'll be there. I'll be creating all my setup. I'll create all my required vessels to be kept, and all my cooking utensils I'll be there, and then all the mixtures and everything. I'll keep that particular designing part. So now you analyze that one, and then you design that particular setup. All the setups I have been means that whatever the utensils or whatever the raw materials you got it, whatever the all the people you get together, and then you will be designing that particular things. Now, next one is implementation, or in the implementation part, you start preparing that particular ladus or whatever the sweets which we wanted to prepare. So that particular things we will take it up and then start preparing that things. And now, once you have been prepared that, whether the sweets are coming fine or not, you will taste them and say that, hey, here means while you're preparing itself, you will taste that and see that, hey, I think some sugar is more here. So now reduce the sugar to add that means add some more ingredient to this so that the sugar would be decreased. So you'll add some more things over here, right? So now that particular ingredients you'll be testing that and seeing that, hey, whether this thing is really good or not, something to be changed, you'll be testing that. And after that one, so once after preparing, you will start serving to the people, and you will be giving it all to the visitors who came for this. You'll be giving that particular sweets, and then you will see that. And after that one, if it is required, you will add some more, or means, hey, the sweets are less, add some more sweets, or the sweets are more, so reduce that sweets and gives for someone. So that will go to the maintenance part. Now, whatever the example which we have been taken for a sweets, can we derive this one into the software? Example, I wanted to create
Yes.
a retail domain practice, a retail domain. Now, for an example, I wanted to create any particular app. You consider that, hey, I wanted to create a food app, or okay, every time I'm going for the food. So let's take some example. I wanted to create like a app like a Ola. So hello taxi. So I just wanted to name it as a hello taxi, and then I wanted to create that app. Now, when I wanted to create this particular app, I'll go and see what are the vendors are available in the market. So now, for an example, the TCS, that is what yesterday we discussed, right? What are the service-based companies are available in the market? So now, service-based companies are the TCS, Infosys, Wipro, all these service-based companies are there. Now, I look after these particular people. Hey, who will be the best choice for me? I'll ask all the people, and then they will come, and then we will be having a call. So in that particular call, so from the company, example that, take it from the TCS. So now from the TCS, the first one will be integrate means coming with us to collect this particular requirement gathering. The role of this one is business analyst. So now the name itself, it was saying that a business analyst. So he will analyze the business. He will understand the business. So these are the people called as a business analyst. So now if you see here, so this particular business analyst will come and then reach out to the particular company. For an example, hey, I think you're trying to prepare a Hello Taxi software or the application, right? So can you tell me the requirements? Then I'll say that, hey, it should be supporting for mobile, and it should be able to open in the websites, and it should be open in the tabs or anywhere. So it should be in all the three architectures. My application should be designed, developed, and then it should be supported, and all the blah blah requirements. I need to have my logo here, my colors here, my functionality here. All the things would be given over here. So now all these particular things would be given the information, means it would be gathered all these particular requirements from the business analyst. What is the purpose of means this particular role in the SDLC is, so these people will capture the requirements, understand the requirements, understand the business, and then they will give it to the engineering team. So now in latest roles, BA or POs. PO means product owners. So product owners or the BAs will capture this, and then they will take it up, and then they will do the things. So this is what the purpose of this particular people. And they comes into the requirement gathering phase. In the requirement gathering phase, they collects all these particular details. Now he collected the details, right? Now it will go back to the people, and then they'll be discussing over here. We have the project manager. Now the project managers and the test architects, development architects and development test managers, leads, everyone will sit together. Hey, they want this particular application. What are the technologies I need to use it, and how much time it will take for this one, how many resources it will take for this one, and what are the tech stack or the estimations for this one to completing of this particular task. Everything will be taken as here, and according to this particular feeders, they will start doing the analysis of this particular application work. How smartly it is designed, right? Now, who are the people here will be involving? First, project managers. Project manager is a role that he manages. The name itself, it was saying that project manager. So he manages that particular project. So that's a project manager. And the next one is test manager. So who holds and who manages the testing department? So he is called as a test manager or development manager. The name itself, it was saying that he holds and manages the development team. And the test lead or tech lead. So from development team, if he handles it, so then he's called as a tech lead. And if someone holds from the testing side, then they will be calling as test lead. So we discussed the roles: project managers. Under the project manager, we'll have the development manager and the test manager. Under the test manager, we'll have the test leads. Same way, see now this is how the hierarchy. Project manager will have test manager and development manager, and test manager will have test lead, and development manager will have tech lead, and these will have the testing team, and here we'll have the development team. Why we require development team? They write the code. So now yesterday I shown it, right? Front end developers, back end developers, they develop the code, and we will go and test that particular application. So this is what it happens in the software testing. So now here, these are the people, and apart from this one, architects also involved. The architects are the people, so who designs. For an example, go for the construction company. There is before constructing a house, you should be having a particular blueprint, right? So where should be my bedroom should be there, where should be my living room, where should be my car parking, or where should be my swimming pool, or my gym room should be there. I designed all these things, right? So, or directly you'll go and then keep the bricks and then construct. We will have the respective planner. So the architect will comes and he will gives you the accurate blueprint. According to that particular blueprint, we will construct our house. The same way, how to develop an application and how to test an application, they gives the framework architectures. With the help of this particular architecture, so the people will proceed further and then create that one. See now the architect will give the blueprint. According to this particular blueprint, the mestris and other people will come and then they will construct the house. The same way, now this particular test architect will design for the testing practices, and development architect will develop for the development architecture. They create some frameworks and all. Don't worry, frameworks and all means you think that it's a blueprint. So that is like a low level design, high level design. Those things are there anyways, that we will see it later. But at least you need to understand, in that design, they will create it and give it to the people, so that based upon that, the people will start to creating the development code and start to create the testing code. So this is how they will be testing it. So these all the roles would be here, the test architect or development architect. See now, if you see here, I'm saying you what is the phase, what is the objective of the phase, and the importance of the phase, and what are the roles involved in that particular phase. So that is what we are trying to discuss over here. Okay, now we have been completed the architect means requirement gathering, and we have been completed the analysis, and then designing phase. Also in the designing phase, we will be having the development architect and then test architect. So first they will design, hey, these are the things should be there, means as a means I told you, right, in the construction department, how the architect, civil engineer will come and then give the architecture. According to that, they will create. So here also the development test architects will give it. According to that, they will start it. Now from here, it will start the implementation. They write the code. The developer team sits and writes the code, and they will host the code into somewhere else. So for an example, now my developer is this developer 1, developer 2. Now they write all this particular code, right? Now they write the code and they need to store somewhere else, right? If something happened to their laptop, they will miss the code, right? they will keep all these things into one centralized repository. Repository is nothing but it's like a bank. You have some you have some lakhs of rupees. Will you keep in your home, or will you go and deposit into the bank for the safety purposes, right? The same way, each and every one will take that particular thing and then merge over here. So now developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, everyone, they'll take this code and then they will go and store it into a centralized repository. So those repositories as called as version control system. So version control system means those are the tools. See what it does, it stores code. What bank does, it stores money. The same way, these all means these all things will store just code. That's it. The purpose of this tool is to store the codes and merge the code. So that is how they start coding and then they start implementing the things. So the dev team here who will be doing it is, so the role in this particular phase will be taken by the developers. Developers will be called as a dev or developers. Okay, now the dev team will go and then they will write the code and they will make sure the application is working fine or not. So here in the developer team, I'll be having the front end developers and the back end developers. Yesterday we have been discussed, right? So now whatever the things we are seeing in my front end, so these are all my front end developers. These all are my front end developers, and back end, the logics and everything will be written by the back end developers. So front end technologies are HTML5 and React.js, Angular applications, and Vue.js. So these all things are front-end applications. The back-end technologies are, you can use Java, Python, PHP, or different languages to develop the back-end code. Okay, how to develop the back-end code and all the things, as of now it is not really required. You should only understand that, hey, from the front end we will be developing something, and back end they'll be developing something. They will be writing the code and then we'll be testing on this one. So how to test, what to test, those are the things which will be see it in the later phase. Now here, if you see here, now the coding has been done. All things they have been implemented, but whether it is properly working or not, if you go the first session, we remember, right? The Lion and King example, they went into the market, they have the highest sales. Within a day, the complete sales fall down because without having the proper testing. There are lots and lots of bugs. I tell you, right? I mean, when you're placing a product, you select a product, add to the cart, and then when you payment, the order placed, money deducted, and then the order is not delivered to you. See, now those are the bugs. Those are the deviations it comes into this. Will the people try to use your applications? Obviously, no. Right at that time, so it need to be properly thoroughly tested. It should be tested, right? So this is what the testing phase here is, where we will be involved. To tell you this, so we need to understand this complete system. And here is the birth of Sdlc, software testing life cycle. So if you see here, this is Sdlc development. As part of Sdlc, we have Sdlc, and as part of Sdlc, we'll have multiple phases. I'll discuss that one Sdlc later. So as of now, in this particular phase, the testing team would be involved, so that the testing team will test whatever the things are there. Verification, validation of this particular software would be done in this particular phase. Once they tested this particular application, 360 degrees testing once we have been done, and then with the different horizontals and verticals, once you have been tested this particular application, then it will go for the live. Live means we will be using it, right? So now the application is ready to use. They will move into the market, so that in the market we all people will take that particular applications and then we'll be using it. So that is called deploying to the live. Live means coming to the market. From that day, that application is available to the complete external world. So this is called as live. So live, live. Okay, so or this deployment means what? See, for an example, I have my photos from my in gallery, and from gallery I created my one personal folder. Into my personal folder, I moved all these particular data and then I kept locked to this, right? So this is called deployment. in the software terminologies, moving from one place to another place. So I have one environment. From this environment, means this is my testing environment, my QA environment. I'll test all these things. Before this one, this is my development environment. Means I all develop here. From once after developing, I'll push to the QA environment for testing this. I'll test all these things, and once after testing, I'll move it to the live. So this is where all the external people will be accessing. So this is called deployment. So deployment to the live. So these terminals are really very important. Okay. So now that will be deployed. So once after the deployment to this, then it will go to the maintenance phase. Maintenance is nothing but, hey, once the application comes into the market, now how I should maintain this particular application means, for an example, new functionalities will be coming. I need to fix it. See, now once after, for an example, once after constructing your house, there will be some plumbing work, the maintenance, painting, the paints are go away. We need to do the painting, and we need to do some woodwork, carpenter work. We'll come and call. So the doors and all these things will be weakened. So we can. So now how the for house we'll be having all these things. The same way for a software. Hey, we got new browser or we got new operating system. So we need to go and test it in the new operating system, or we need to go and test it in the new browser. So or we need to test it in the new mobile version or the new mobile phone. So these all the things which we will be trying to do it. So that is what it is called as a maintenance phase. Maintenance phase will be taken care by the development team and the testing team. Both will be involved. For the deployment, here we have a team called Devops, or now it is Devops. Devops means development operations, or previously we used to have SCM team, software configuration management teams. So these people, what they will try to take care, the responsibilities or the roles of this particular team is make sure that when they deployed this particular thing from one place to another place, whether the deployment moved properly or not, whether they went into the live properly or not, if there is any particular bugs, how to get it back, roll back. Roll back means coming back to the previous state. So how that is happening or not. So these all things would be done by this particular DevOps team. Latest terms, latest companies you are using for the DevOps. Previously, it is called as SCM team, software configuration management teams. So these are the phases which we have: it requirement gathering, analysis, designing, and this particular coding or implementation, testing, and then deployment, and then maintenance. And after that, after certain point of time, that software may be deprecated. When it can be deprecated, we don't know, but still it would be under the maintenance phase itself. So this is how a software lifecycle will be defined. And then this particular lifecycle defined, and then here we will be having, as part of an Sdlc, we have this. So this is how we will be designing all these particular softwares. And from the Sdlc, the Sdlc will born in the testing lifecycle. And this is what our feeder, how to proceed from this. Okay, so now any questions over here?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Go ahead.
Sir, this is my first class, and my name is Rajesh. We already discussed about version control code and deployment. Deployment. These two stages are two different, right? One of the steps we use is developers use that, and another one belongs to testing department. So I have a doubt in this between these two words.
See, Rajesh, always you remember okay, you about the version control system and these things, this is an extra information which I have been given. In which phase we will be getting is in the coding and implementation is there, right? In this particular coding and implementation, so here I'm just saying that, hey, I have couple of developers will be there. They will be writing all the code and they need to merge, right? So they will merge their code in the version control system. Means this guy will push the code here, this guy will push the code here, and this guy will push the code, because three different people are working. They need to merge all the code, right? So for an example, this guy is working on inbox, this guy is working on outbox, this guy will be working on trash if it is a Gmail. we have three functionalities, right? Inbox is a functionality, outbox is a functionality, trash is a functionality. So these three people working on three different functionalities, and they need to merge. Then only my application will have inbox, outbox, and then trash. So now they merge all the code into this particular tool called version control system tool. In this particular version control system tool, they will merge all the code. The tools are like GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab. So there are many tools in the market which they will be trying to do it. So this is what I talked, and this is where it comes from, the coding and implementation. Now, deployment. The deployment would be come from the DevOps. Means deployment means moving the code from one place to another place. So this is what the deployment. So now in this particular deployment, the code would be deployed from one place to another. So now for doing this particular, someone need to push this code right from here to here. See, automatically also we can move. Means I told you right, from development to the QA, from QA to the live. But whether it is properly moving from one place to another place is what just we wanted to check. So that deployment of the code would be done by this particular DevOps team or DevOps people.
Okay.
Okay, so there is what the DevOps, which it comes in the deployment. And this is where in the coding, in the development, we will be getting this. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
Any question?
Sir,
Yes.
will they get even, will they check even the bugs are there in the, in that when they, while transferring from one place to another place, even they'll get information regarding the, even the bugs also? They'll even rectify even that?
No, Swati. For an example, now just imagine that. So now these are the two environments. Now I developed, so now this is development environment. Development environment, they will develop the code. Okay, they will develop this code and they do some small testing on this. And once from here, they will push the code to here. And this is what the QA environment where we all will test this particular code. And the QA will give the confirmation that everything is working fine, so that these people will push it. So who need to see now? See, everyone will have their some roles and responsibility. What is the purpose of a QA? To test this application, whether it is working fine or not. What is the responsibility of a developer? To develop that particular application. Now, the responsibility of the DevOps or the SCM team to move the code from one environment to another environment, from development to the QA and from QA to the live. Who would be giving that particular thing is working fine? The confirmation will be given by the QA team. And then these people will take this code and then move to the live. And here the development people will say that everything is working fine. Then these people will move from this one to this environment. And before going live, the QA will give the confirmation, then they will move this one to the production. See, the responsibility of the DevOps is to move the code from one environment to another environments without having any particular droppage. See, here I given 100 files. All 100 files should move to here. And all these 100 files, they should move to here. What they will test, whether 100 files are coming from here to here, that is what they will test. They will not test internally the functionality, because internal functionality testing will be done by the QAs. That's the responsibility of them. Now that is how same 100 files are reaching to this or not, so that they will test it here. That is a responsibility of the DevOps. And how fast, how quickly it can be done. So they have the strategies. Hey, whether all the testing is completed properly or not, they will just check and then they'll move it, but they will not do the testing. For that one, we have a designated role, which we are doing that one. So did I answer your question? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, so tomorrow what I wanted to see is different type of Sdlcs. Guys, this will be a very boring topic, but we will try to complete this one as quickly as possible. Okay, different type of Sdlcs. See, now we know what is Sdlc today. We discussed, right? There are different type of Sdlcs are there in the market. Now tomorrow we wanted to complete this particular Sdlcs. There are basically 7 SDLC models. One is incremental, prototype, spiral, rad, V, and agile. On top of all these things, the first one is waterfall. Waterfall model, incremental model, prototype model, spiral model. Spiral model, it's okay. If you don't want to see the spiral, it's okay. You can remove that. Rad model, V model, agile model. Okay, so this is what is the most important thing which you wanted to refer and then come back. Once again, I'm saying that you need to go back, refer, and come back on this. Okay, the video is available in the same place. Go to that repository, view that video, come back tomorrow's session. Different type of SDLCs. And when we ask the question, if you're not unmuting and you're talking, we will observe for 2 days and 3 days, and those people will be removed from the team. Okay, so please make sure. So tomorrow when you're coming, so prepare all these things and come back for the session so that you will understand it very much better. So now you see how much, at least if you see in the video previously and coming back to the session, how clear it would be when you listen the live sessions. So tomorrow you're going through this and then come back for the tomorrow session. I'm already late for the next meeting. I'll catch you back tomorrow, same time. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank
See
you.
you all.